My best friend panicked. My parents are forcing me to go on a date, but I already have a boyfriend. What if you go on the date for me? I laughed, thinking she was kidding until Joyce handed over 3 crisp $100 bills. Pretend to be me. Act completely insane. Talk about your ex-boyfriends. Maybe eat with your hands. Mention you collect dead butterflies. Whatever it takes to make sure the guy runs away. I blinked at her quietly. She reached out and held my hand. Look, I just started dating Corey. I really like him, and I can't mess it up being seen with another guy. So please, just one dinner? I looked at her and at the $400 that would seriously help with my pet's vet bills, and agreed. Just one dinner, and I'd never have to see the guy's face again. I showed up to the restaurant looking like Shrek's long-lost sibling, wearing a neon green dress that barely covered anything and enough makeup to paint a house. The hostess raised an eyebrow but led me to Ralph's table. He stood up, professional in his navy suit, and his eyes widened slightly. Joyce? That's me, handsome. I instantly flirted, already feeling ridiculous. I sat down without waiting for him to pull out my chair. You're Ralphie, right? Ralph, actually. I prefer Ralphie, I said rudely. I reached out and grabbed a breadstick from the basket with my fist and proceeded to eat and talk about traffic at the same time. Crumbs flew out of my mouth onto the table. He watched me demolish the breadstick, but somehow his eyes were more full of life. Just then, a waiter walked over to collect our orders. Ralph ordered something simple while I went with a juicy, expensive lobster. When our food arrived, I proceeded to eat the lobster with my hands, butter dripping down my arms. I hoped it was enough to send him running out, but something weird happened. Instead of looking horrified, Ralph started laughing. When I sucked on a lobster claw like a caveman, he picked up his own pasta with his hands. When in Rome, he said, twirling spaghetti around his fingers. By the time dessert arrived, we were both crying from laughter from trying to eat ice cream with our bare hands. While we walked out to his car, he reached over and held my cold hands in his, putting it up to his lips to puff warm air on it. I couldn't help but blush at the romantic gesture. Can I be honest about something? This was the most fun I've had in months, and I'd really like to see you again, he said softly. I almost said yes, but then I remembered I was pretending to be Joyce. I don't think that's a good idea, I told him weakly. His eyes met mine, as if those beautiful green eyeballs could change my mind. One more date. I promise I'll use a fork this time, he grinned. Unless you don't want me to. My heart raced. I was done for. I drove straight to Joyce's apartment that night, panicking. He wants another date. The color drained from her face. What do you mean he wants another date? What did you do? I literally did everything wrong, and for some reason he just liked it. Joyce paced her living room. This can't be happening. My parents will expect me to bring him to the country club dinner next week. She pulled out her phone and Venmo'd me another $300. The second date is Thursday. Be worse. Be so much worse. That Thursday, Ralph picked me up for bowling. This time, I chose a sparkly sequined jumpsuit that made me look like a walking disco ball. I threw gutter balls on purpose, making awful poses each time. I pretended to cry each time a single pin got knocked down, but Ralph just rolled with it. He came up behind me to teach me proper form patiently, placing his hands on my arm gently. When I threw another gutter ball, he cheered like I'd won the Olympics. You're consistent. That takes skill, he joked. And honestly, it was starting to get to me. Nothing I did ever fazed him, and I realized a guy as great as this only came once in a blue moon. Once we were done bowling, we sat in the worn plastic chairs sharing nachos, watching others play. You know what I like about you? He said. You're not trying to impress anyone. Everyone I meet is so concerned with appearing perfect. You just exist. I mean, 2 dates in, and I'm already excited about the next one. You're confident, unapologetic, and beautiful. I knew this was spiraling completely out of control, but when he kissed me goodnight, soft and respectful and perfect, I kissed him back. I'll see you Saturday. Wait, Saturday? I opened my phone and saw 30 missed calls from Joyce. Dude, what the heck? He called my parents. They set up dinner at the country club thinking that I'm the one going on those dates. What are we going to do? Joyce rambled, feeling just as scared as I did. Maybe we can just tell the truth? Over my dead body, Joyce snapped. So she went on the date, and when Ralph saw her walk in, he stared at her completely speechless. Joyce tried to play it cool. Ralph, so good to see you again. Excuse us for just a moment, she said, grabbing his arm. Let me explain, she whispered. After a few minutes, Ralph burst into laughter. He searched the room and quickly found me through my disguise. He walked over and grinned. You've got a thing for disguises. But just as things started to settle quietly, Joyce's phone buzzed. She looked at it and all the color drained from her face again. Oh God. What? I asked. She showed me her phone. A text from her boyfriend Corey with a photo attached. Full story on channel linked below.